There is no reason to be upset about the words that are being said. Dude, you can't make it up. You actually can't make it up, man. I would love to see what these 1,500 violations are supposed to be. I would love to see what those 1,500 violations are. He meant literally build a bridge from Calais to Dover and just have the Muslims walk over. Literally called it hate speech, said, "Oh, this is scary," and didn't engage any further. Yeah, let's look at this Glastonbury stuff. So I pulled up this tweet on Kick last night. I'll pull up here as well. I can't take it. This is from Drew Pavlo, as you can see. I can't take it. I'm actually struggling. At my heart, I'm a moderate, progressive social democrat. But the popularity of tanky, third-worldist Maoism in lefty circles is so profoundly alienating and pushing me more conservative. Here we have the main act at Glastonbury, an incredibly prestigious position to occupy, chanting for race war, gloating about white people becoming minorities, celebrating decolonial massacres. So, I don't know when any of these things happened. I listened to the full set last night. I didn't hear any of this. The standard left-wing response line when challenged about all this is to deny that it's happening. Yeah, because it didn't happen. They will laugh at you and pretend it's just a few fringe extremists on social media being amplified by Fox News as right-wing propaganda. But it's so clearly not. It's on the main stage at Glastonbury, being broadcast to millions of people, and I hate it so much. So, this is getting spun as being for a race war. Because he's saying, heard you want your country back, shut the f*** up. That when that's obviously, the point of that is obviously actually anti-race war. It's a response to far-right or super anti-immigration, pro-mass deportation people saying they want their country back, which means expelling minorities and taking their country back. And he's responding to that because obviously the point is it's his country too, right? He was born here. Yeah, so I just don't understand how you can take issue with this. Like, seriously, I just don't understand. What can you take issue with there? Death to the IDF. What is the problem with saying that? I can't see one. It's a military force. If you celebrate, like, how many people celebrate, like, the Houthis getting bombed, or Al Qaeda getting shot, or ISIS, or Russians? But the moment you say death to the IDF, all of a sudden it's a problem. The one fighting force you can't call for the death of. I think you would genuinely have less controversy in the UK if you called for the death of our own military. It's baffling to me that this has caused such upset. What, did Drew Pavlo joke about bombing Al Jazeera? Yeah, no, I had some fucking retard say that in Chud's chat to me earlier. Say, they have mandatory conscription though. Okay, and? What the fuck does that change? Well, yeah, Russians kidnap people off the street, don't they? Empty their prisons onto the front line and kidnap people off the street. So yeah, I'm really not seeing the controversy here. I had a video up 1 minute. What was it? I'm looking for YouTube coverage of this. People seething. What? So I'm gonna say something crazy. Okay, I'm gonna say something crazy. I gotta be real. I feel like it's just a bunch of people that are, it just looks and sounds kind of scary to them. Possibly because of some preconceived racial biases. I think that might be happening. I think that might explain a lot of it. Because I genuinely, there is no reason to be upset about the words that are being said. Death to the IDF is saying that Right, let's take it in its most literal. First of all, death to, and then like a concept, like a military organization. Already, this is kind of a metaphorical, like, death. It is probably implying killing people, but it's like it's not exact. It's an abstraction. It's not literally go kill these people. It's an abstract statement. But let's take it in its most literal form. He's saying, kill IDF soldiers, Gazans or Hamas or whoever should kill IDF soldiers. He's saying that. Okay, and what's the problem there? Why can you support one side of that war and not the other? Right, I'm sure plenty of these people would be like, what would oftentimes say, why do you care what's happening in fucking the other side of the world? Sand people fighting over rocks, whatever the fuck they want to say. Yeah, why do you care if someone takes one side or the other? Why is it okay to chant in support of one side and not the other? It's just like totally retarded. Okay. Like that's just insane. That's just insane. Just crazy. Look at her face, man. Look at her face. Oh my god, I haven't watched this channel before. Get off my trackpad. Right.
I mean, first of all, why has Glastonbury become all about Palestine? Like, hello, we're in Britain. Why is what's going in the Middle East not just the main topic?
Dude, you can't make it up. You actually can't make it up, man.
Of our politics, but the main topic of our music festivals now. Why is he chanting "death to the IDF"? He's essentially you could say that is incitement of violence against IDF soldiers, wishing death upon them.
And this was what he had. Wait, what's the problem with that? You say that you want Hamas to be killed? You can't say you want to have Hamas killed. You can't say you want the IDF to kill Hamas? Is that what you're saying?
Behind him, you saw the Free Palestine flag behind him in that clip we just looked at, but it also says Free Palestine, United Nations.
Can someone let British people know they can remove the tongue from the top of their mouth when speaking? Why does she sound like that?
Thank you for the $5, Citrus Chemist. Thank you.
Have called it a genocide. The BBC calls it a conflict. I find it absolutely hilarious how the Free Palestine lot think that the BBC are, being way too kind to Israel in their reporting. When if anything, I think we all know. Well, I mean, the BBC. In a report was shown to have breached their own guidelines on the Israel-Hamas conflict over 1,500 times. And I think the vast majority of those times were where it was giving a pro-Hamas stance rather than one that gives a balanced view that puts Israel in, a balanced...
A pro-Hamas stance on the BBC? Are you insane? Are you smoking crack? Are you insane? I would love to see what these 1,500 violations are supposed to be. I would love to see what those 1,500 violations are. 1,500 BBC violations, Israel, Hamas. Oh. So I looked for this, and it was picked up by the Telegraph initially. But there's an org called the Media Reform Coalition that has a response out that says, BBC bias in Gaza, a partial hit study of impartiality. From flimsy AI analysis to basic errors, the Assassin report on BBC anti-Israel bias is both flawed and completely at odds with the realities of the war in Gaza. Okay. What does this say then? Yeah, so breach rules of 1,500 times. The Assassin report is no lightweight document. It runs runs to 199 pages with a separate 188-page supporting document. Claims to have used both human and artificial intelligence to assess some 9 million words of BBC output from 7th October 2023 to 7th February 2024. But there is little intelligence in the analysis itself, and instead pages and pages of charts that attempt to prove just how badly the BBC treated Israel and its supporters. This is partly a result of a flawed methodology which relies on a naive conception of AI, not least its claim that ChatGPT is not subject to inherent human subjective judgment, and is instead an unbiased proxy for the casual everyday audience for news that does not have an opinion on the conflict. Okay. That's not how LLMs work. Okay. AI may not have an opinion on the conflict, but those asking the questions do, and in any case, its language models are only as good as the content they depend on, and a significant portion of that, which is generated by major news organizations such as New York Times, who currently do have skin in the game. Reports' reliance on human sympathy analysis carried out here by both humans and AI is also flawed. Of course, there is likely to be a significant amount of sympathy towards Palestinians at a time after October 7th, when it was they who were being bombed, starved, and forcibly required to leave their homes. Not even the mainstream media could fail to notice this. The report's finding that the sympathy analysis showed a marked pro-Palestinian / anti-Israel imbalance across all principal television news programs is therefore hardly surprising, and reveals the frustration of pro-Israeli voices that anyone should be sympathetic to the plight of the Palestinians on the siege rather than a breach of impartiality across 4 months of coverage. Okay, this is quite a long page debunking this report. Wait, Ethan's going after Pisco? For real? Send that to me if that's happening. Yeah, okay. That immediately that BBC 1500 errors thing is throwing up warning signs.
I mean, this is the organisation which just quotes Hamas figures on death counts and reports about who's killed who just as facts rather than questioning them, even though they come from a terrorist organisation. But anyway, so that was Bob Vylan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But anyway, he wasn't the only controversial figure to make an appearance at Glastonbury. We also had Kneecap were able to make an appearance despite a heck of a lot of controversy over whether they should be allowed to appear or not. And did they keep it civil? Did they keep it nice? No, absolutely not. So not only did they chant "fuck Keir Starmer" and get crowds to chant along, but they also were urging the crowd to riot.
Okay, back to this.
Yes, and I'm not joking that this wasn't just a general "oh, let's go riot," not really meaningful. It was actually with a time and a place, because one of the people in the Kneecap band is going to be in court for carrying a Hezbollah flag, with Hezbollah being a prescribed terrorist organisation. He's going to be in Westminster Court, and he has urged people not just to turn up and, you know, hold a placard and protest peacefully. He has urged them to riot. Will Keir Starmer now denounce the rappers as far-right thugs inciting violence? I doubt he will. I mean, he did say that they shouldn't perform.
Why would you call it? Dude, it's like, so how fucking retarded are these people? They literally think far-right is just like a slur, like a meaningless slur. No, reformer far-right. You could maybe call them far-left. Sure, but not far right. Bob Vylan and not far right. That's retarded.
But I highly doubt that what they said at Glastonbury will be met with the same force as people who put up tweets during the Southport riots. But anyway, let's look at the detail of what is going on here. So you've got the lead rapper Leon Ohana, he is on unconditional bail at the moment after being charged with terrorism for supporting Hezbollah, which is prescribed, as of course you will know. And this is what they said on stage. Mochara is back in court for a trumped-up terrorism charge. It's not the first time there's been a miscarriage of justice for an Irish person in the British justice system. So now you know he's available on the 20th of August at Westminster. Support Mochara and let's start a riot in the courts. not just outside the courts, but in them. Not sure how they're going to get in, but God knows what is going to happen. Later on in the hour-long set, Mo Farah, the guy who is going to be appearing in court, said the Prime Minister of your country, not mine, said he didn't want us to play, so fuck Keir Starmer, before leading a chant against Starmer. So there you go. Now, as far as incitement goes, this is where, as I said, you've been given a time and a place. So one of the big controversies about people who were put...
Now, this is actually taken out of context, I believe. I'm pretty sure the guy actually did say, after saying start a riot, he said, not like a literal riot. I mean, like, a riot of love, you know? Some shit like that. Where is it? Where is it? Let me find it. What did he say? No, he said, in reference to his bandmate's upcoming court date, Carolyn? I don't know how to say it. What was on the stage name, Mughlai Bap, said they would start a riot outside the courts, before clarifying, no riots, just love and support for Palestine.
In prison for tweets during the Southport riots is you had people who were not naming a time and a place. Okay, they were very vaguely possibly supporting the riots in some way, but they weren't actually saying, hey guys, let's go meet here at 7 p.m. with pitchforks and have a riot and cause hell. That is incitement, where you've got time and a place, right? So there was a lot of questions about whether the people who put up those tweets should have received any punishment whatsoever. But in this case, I feel like it is the most obvious, crystal clear case of somebody inciting riots. 20th of August, Westminster Courts, let's start a riot, it says. What will they do? Let's see. And also, they didn't exactly behave themselves, because as you all know, Palestine Action is becoming a proscribed terrorist organisation, so not only has this band been waving around Hezbollah flags...
I think it would make sense to fine them for saying, like, start a riot at Westminster Courts. I feel like it would make sense to fine them or some shit for that, but I think the initial charge is, like... I'm hesitant to agree with anything, because I feel like the initial charges are just like bullshit. And why the fuck can't you fly a Hezbollah flag? Dude, it's a fucking flag. Come on now.
Which is a proscribed terrorist organisation. They are now wearing the Palestine Action t-shirt.
But I'm pretty sure that... Isn't the law like something... The law about supporting terrorist organisations in the UK is that you can't support them in a way that would entice people to join. I believe is like the specification. The speech. I've heard 2 Kneecap songs and both extolling extreme poverty lifestyles. I don't know if they'd pay the fine. No disrespect to the Irish. Okay.
Stage at Glastonbury. Now, they will get away with wearing that t-shirt because it hasn't quite come into law yet. It is now Saturday and we are expecting that on Monday it will be passed into law that Palestine Action is a proscribed terrorist organisation. But it was...
So, and this is fucking stupid as well. Like, there's no I don't understand why Palestine Action is prescribed for throwing paint on a fucking Spitfire. That's just like, really?
Really pushing it a little bit. And that's not all the drama from Glastonbury. We've also had Jeremy Corbyn make this political statement.
If you can see that far, look on the wall right over there that surrounds this wonderful festival. And there's a message on that wall for President Donald Trump.
Oh my god, I hate Corbyn. I actually do hate Corbyn. I can't stand him.
And you know what it says? Build bridges, not walls.
Oh my god. Isn't this old?
Oh my days.
Isn't that? I thought that was old. Yeah, this is from 2017. This is from fucking 2017, you stupid bint. This is fucking 8 years old. Bro, I knew this was old as fuck. Bro, this happened when I was fucking like 18.
far, look on the wall right over there that surrounds this wonderful festival. And there's a message on that wall for President Donald Trump. And you know what it says? Build bridges, not walls.
Oh my days. Build bridges, not walls. Do you know why there is a fence? A big, big fence that's far more
Bro,
stronger.
they literally, I remember them doing the exact same talking points fucking 8 years ago. Bro, how can you get away with doing this? Oh my god, dude. How do you get away with just pulling up an 8-year-old clip and saying the same shit that everyone said 8 years ago? It's so retarded. You know why there's a wall around Glastonbury? Is to keep bad people out, people who aren't supposed to be there out, Jeremy Corbyn. Maybe if you thought about that more when you were planning immigration policy, we wouldn't have so many fucking brownoids here. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me.
Than the British border around Glastonbury, because maybe it would ruin it for everybody else if anyone who wanted to could walk in for free.
Shut up,
whilst those who paid
up.
their fair share get no better deal than the people who didn't pay anything and walked in for free. Isn't it a little bit similar to illegal migration, that people pay their taxes all of their life to, you know, be able to access the NHS, schools, and, you know, use the roads, etc. But then someone who just comes across illegally, they get far more than the people who have paid in their whole life.
Guys, building a fence around a music festival is actually exactly the same as trying to build a solid wall across the southern border of the United States. Guys, you know these are exactly the same thing. Guys, you know these are like exactly the same policy and will have exactly the same outcome.
Lives not even just equal. Okay, so maybe Jeremy Corbyn, there is a reason why there is a fence around there. He's saying there, build bridges, not walls. What do you want to do? Build a bridge between here and France?
What?
For illegal migrants?
Yeah, he meant literal bridges. Yeah, he's talking literally. This is very intelligent response. Very intelligent response. He meant literally build a bridge from Calais to Dover and just have the Muslims walk over. That's what he was saying. I hate Corbyn, but even I'm not going to pretend he was talking literally there. Okay.
Bridge between here and France for illegal migrants. No gate on it. Nothing. No toll booth. Not even a toll booth. Just open, no gate, nothing. Illegal migrant bridge. No need to pay for a dinghy anymore. The British state will fund a bridge between here and France. I mean, what planet are you on, Jeremy Corbyn? But clearly the crowd there absolutely lapped it up. So there we go. So what do you think, guys? Is Glastonbury, well, the question GB News were asking is Glastonbury a hate fest? To me, it seemed from what Bob Vylan, or Vylan, however you say his name is, and what Kneecap said, that it very much was.
Vylan,
not
man.
That every single young'un at the festival
you really can't just figure it out. It's like Bob Dylan, but with a V. You really can't figure this one out.
Because you did have some crowds at the Kneecap event rebelling and singing God Save the King, being patriotic. But I do worry for the future of this country when you do have all these young'uns chanting death to the IDF quite happily and lapping it up when Kneecap say, let's go riot at Westminster Courts. Slightly concerning. Anyway, that is the latest. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching. Hope you are surviving the heatwave. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any more videos.
I love how they have to constantly talk about Kneecap's Palestine stuff. When obviously the more relevant, you would think, beliefs that Kneecap have are like the Irish Republican stuff. Like, surely that's what we would be more worried about. But for some reason, they constantly mention the Palestine stuff.
If simple as weren't a gammon phrase and instead was some dumb bee that had a reproductive cavity you could drive a garbage truck through.
Thank you for the $5, Jimberly. Huge appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wait, Asmongold covered this?
So a lot of people are really...
Yes! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Okay. Predictions. Oh, really? So, these guys can say all of this, but these days, if you say you're English, you'll be arrested and thrown in jail. That's number one. Point number one that's absolutely going to be in there. Okay? Well, what else is coming? He'll probably defend saying death to the IDF. I think he'll defend that. I can't call anything else. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know which way it'll go. He might signal to, like, raceoids. He might signal to, like, you know, oh, why can they be disrespectful about the country they're coming to or whatever. Just to remind people, I know people coming in, I'll just pop up the video again. Because I'm pretty sure this version I can actually get away with. This clip doesn't seem to get hit right now.
How does this guy not get, like, in trouble for hate speech,
right? Shelby, this is honestly a retard. This whole... Wait, no way, he says hate speech. Oh my god. Shelby, this story is like the endless retard filter. It's like a total retard filter on every angle. Where it's like, there are people who take punk music super seriously, and they think it's like, oh, this isn't very good political rhetoric. This isn't very good political rhetoric. Yeah, it's a fucking punk band, you fucking retard. You fucking moron. You fucking idiot. And then there's people that are just like, oh, endlessly, it's like your black Rage Against the Machine. And it's like, okay, Rage Against the Machine is already kind of black, but whatever. It's like, yeah, it's punk music, it's punk rock, what else you want? It's gonna sound a little bit like that. It's like every angle of this is a fucking retard filter. And then you've got people acting like it's hate speech. Just everyone is being so retarded about this.
How does this guy not get, like, in trouble for hate speech, right? Because, like, I mean, I feel like in general, like the UK, don't they have like a bunch of laws against...
He is calling for the death of Jews. You are mentally disabled. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you that you are severely mentally disabled. I hate that you had to find out this way. You are fucking retarded. Saying a military should die is not saying the religious group should die or the ethnic group should die. It's not. It would not be calling for the death of Christians if you said death to the US military. Fucking idiot. Actually genuinely fucking disabled. Anyone, seriously, you should be, like, thrown in a fucking padded room for your own good.
Shit about any of our mumble rappers after
I just don't like the extremists from the Palestine movement. Okay. That's not relevant to anything that's being said. You just completely lied about what was happening. You either lied or you're being like a hysterical zogbot. It's one of the two. You're either dishonestly portraying what's going on, or you're a hysterical zogbot who is completely compromised on anything like this. Just because you don't like the extremists doesn't mean you turn around and go, oh, they're calling for the death of Jews, when they say they don't like a military.
This. You literally have spent 30 seconds saying the exact same two fucking lines. This is crazy. Like, it's no wonder we don't hear about any of these hip-hop artists.
Yeah, but it's not just that you're biased towards Israel. It's that you're willing to just throw Jews under the bus to try and defend some dog shit repugnant fucking state. Like, it's just the immediate, like, they're calling for the death of Jews. It's like you're immediately trying to invoke the idea that Jews should be afraid or that Jews should try and shut this down in some way because you don't like the political speech. It's one of the most pathetic, repulsive things that scum like Ethan Klein and all Destiny's audience are doing right now. It's genuinely, it's so clear, just it's so pervasive in this area of the internet at the moment. Disgusting shit, truly. Even Nick does that shit sometimes.
UK. Bro, compare this guy, like, this is embarrassing. Guys, surely nothing bad is ever going to come of this. Surely there will never be a negative reaction to this ever, right? I mean, there's no way that could ever happen. I mean, yeah, this is just probably an isolated incident. And that's it. Look at the ticket prices. I don't even know how much it is. I have no idea how much it is. But I think that you're seeing Europeans get, like, you're going to be starting to see Europeans...
So he hasn't engaged with any of this. He just called it hate speech. He has just called it hate speech and moved on. We have gone so far in the opposite direction, man. It's so fucking crazy. Literally called it hate speech, said, oh, this is scary, and didn't engage any further.
From, like, the UK... I think some of the Nordic countries and Germany, you're gonna. I hope, hopefully not Germany. I mean, we've already had that happen before, but we're gonna start seeing them become radicalized at an extremely fast ratio. And when it happens, everybody is going to say, "Oh my God, who could have predicted this? Oh my God, how did we get here? Oh my God, why is this happening?" And anybody who's been on the internet...
It's just so funny. They look at, like, 2 clips. It's, like, 20-second clips of Bob Vylan fucking... Or one guy from Bob Vylan saying, death to the IDF, and heard you want your country back, fuck off. And they're like, wow, he's radicalizing people. He's radicalizing people. And then you go listen to the music, and it's like, yeah, sure, there's some songs about doing crime and shit. And then there's, like... a bunch of other songs that are a bunch of retarded shit about fucking mental health and feminism and shit.
Better than any other hip-hop and should not be taken seriously beyond politics on this.
Okay, you got baited by that message, Jimberly. You got baited hard. You're like, no, you're just a contrarian. See, Dizzy Rascal does not own all-American rap. I was joking. But yeah, it's like, you go listen to the rest of this guy's music and it is not like fucking, like, I mean... He brought his fucking daughter up on stage. 1 minute. I actually did manage to get the full performance video. I couldn't find the video last night, but someone uploaded it. Where is it?
Bobby.
Yeah, look, he brings his fucking daughter up on stage, and there's a song with his fucking
Anything you want to say to the people before we...
Making songs about growing up working class and wanting to make a good life for his daughter? What an evil, scary guy. What an evil, scary, radical guy.
We'll know the exact answer.
You know, he literally... Dude, I wish I had it, but he put up, like, an Instagram story last night, where it's like, it is, like, soy and corny as fuck, but it's, like... him stood there with a little tub of ice cream, a pot of ice cream with a spoon sticking out of it. And it says, like, Zionists crying on social media while I'm sitting here with my brackets vegan ice cream. Or some shit like that. It's just, like, so fucking stupid. Yeah, and, like, dude, he's got, like, all these tattoos, but if you actually look, the tattoo in the middle of his chest is a fucking Donnie Darko, Frank the Rabbit tattoo. Bro, this is literally, this is the least scary fucking radical, like... It's just, like, so crazy.
Answer to that, and all of the Karens on mainstream media will be very, very confused. And that's it. It'll be cheered on. Yeah, isn't this a challenge? Well, I don't know if it's a challenge. Like, it's probably just a fucking song, right? I mean, I don't give a fuck about, like, UK
dude,
pop.
like, did you hear he wrote out a message that said, is this a challenge? So they're saying, heard you want your country back, fuck off, or whatever. They're saying, is that a challenge? Is that a challenge? I'll take my country back if I have to. Dude.
Politics, right, or anything like this. But
like, they're being radical, though. These guys are the radicals. These guys are the extremists. Not Asmongold's chat. Not Asmongold's chat. It's the guy saying, hey, listen, this is my country too. I was born here. He's the extremist. Right. Okay.
The issue is that when you have somebody who's writing songs like this, they're flying foreign flags, etc., this is going to radicalize the national people there, and eventually there is going to be a reaction to that. This is a historical fact that dates back to before history. People just don't like this. And so did you like the song? I mean, what song? He just said the same 2 things over and over. Either way, comments like this and statements like this is going to be... like, I will tell you guys, the reaction to this is going to be... I think it is going to be worse than anything that you can imagine. That's what I think. And so, UK is anti-white. Yeah, and so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it doesn't excuse it. Well, double standards. Look at their apology. Well, I don't know about an apology. I didn't see an apology anywhere here. And let's see if there's any more of these.
I don't think they apologized.
He did an apology, nails it. Sons and daughters. Let me see if I can find it. And criticizing Islam can get you jailed there. He's not white. He's probably a Muslim. I don't know what their laws are, but like, I mean, as far as I know, like calling to like kill or you know, calling for death of a group of people like that. I mean, in the UK, right? I mean, they don't have the same freedom of speech laws that we have. I'm actually kind of surprised to see that, to be honest with you. It does break UK law, by the way. Yeah, and so what he says is protect.
No, I don't believe it does. I don't believe anything he said breaks UK law. You could argue some of the stuff Kneecap said does. You could argue that, for sure. But I think there is definitely a case for incitement on the start of right of the court thing. I think there's a case for incitement there. I'm hesitant to want it prosecuted, but I mean, they probably fulfilled the elements with the shit they were saying.
Protected? Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, that's not my understanding of what UK law is, but I could be wrong. I guess we'll have to find out and see. But either way, it's a one-way street in this case. It's okay if it's not them. IDF is the Israeli military. Yeah, I know that. I know it's the Israeli military. But anyway, so.
No, it's not, Asparagus. You literally... Why do you people say this shit? It's just, like, so fucking funny. It's so obvious immediately when someone just has no idea what they're talking about. Would you like to give me an example? What's your example, please, Asparagus, of a total miscarriage of justice when it comes to speech in the UK without saying the Count Dankula thing that happened, like, 10 years ago? What is a miscarriage of justice surrounding speech that has occurred in the UK? Lucy Connolly being jailed for a tweet. So what did she say? She said, mass deportation now. If that makes me racist, so be it. I bet my house was one of those boat invaders. Somalian, I guess. So she's guessing at the race and origin of the Southport killer. Where's the full... No, it just lays out all the tweets. Oh, no, okay. So, yeah, so, okay. So you're totally lying here, Asparagus. Unfortunately, you have been found to be failing basic research, and you are repeating retarded reform lies. Well, Lucy Connolly, what did she actually say? Lucy Connolly was arrested on the 6th of August, 2024, after calling for mass deportation now in an ex-post, which also said hotels housing asylum seekers should be set on fire. So she said, hotels housing asylum seekers should be set on fire. And then a hotel housing asylum seekers was set on fire. So she was charged for that tweet. Yes. Yes, correct. Yes. Correct. Yes. So that's your example of miscarriage of justice. That's your key example? Someone being jailed for tweets. Okay, so Jeremy Clark saying overtake should be shot on Top Gear as a crime then. No, I'd have to look at the specific, how it was prosecuted. It's not what you said. You said jailed for tweets. She incited violence. You'd have to look at how it was prosecuted. You'd have to look at supporting evidence. But you haven't done that. You said to me, you started, some of the stuff being prosecuted in the UK, but not others, is totally absurd. And now your point of hypocrisy is the woman who said burn down hotels, and then a hotel got burnt down, was jailed, but Jeremy Clarkson, who said you should shoot overtakers, wasn't jailed. And this is how you're proving out that it's beyond absurd, the hypocrisy in the UK law. You sound fucking retarded. You've got no idea what you're talking about. You had no idea what the tweet was. You had no idea why she was prosecuted. You're just pushing a commonly repeated narrative about UK speech law because it benefits you. She was the wife of a Tory MP, yes. So there's like several issues here that I can see would have contributed to her prosecution, where she's making up the race of the killer. She is claiming the killer had a certain origin, none of which ended up being true. He was actually born in the UK, and then instructed people to burn down a hotel. Now, would I necessarily say this woman should be prosecuted? I don't know. I'd have to look at the case a bit more closely. I wouldn't make a firm conclusion, start pushing a narrative based on that, unlike you. However, the idea that it's simply just for tweets is pretty absurd. She's making up details about like an active case, spreading them pretty widely, and instructing people to take action off the back of it. Violent action. Violent extremist action off the back of it. So, you just sound completely retarded. As does everyone who does this shit.
So any of this stuff happens, I think that we are in for a very, very interesting next 10 years. And the more comments I see like this, the higher the probability I think there is, and the faster I think it's going to happen. Like, I just keep assuming it's going to take longer, but now IDF isn't a group of people. It's not a race or ethnicity. This guy is much better than you. Oh, he's much better at what? You've said worse yourself? Well, so this is really what I'm saying, is that it's not a race or ethnicity. It kind of is a group of people, by the way, and the thing is that, again, if somebody said this about any other group of people or anything else, the same people will be crying. I mean, and again, you can get mad about this or say he's better than me or whatever. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you that I know what the response to this is going to be, and it's going to be really, really, really bad. It will be, and I can guarantee it. I think that every single time one of these events happens, it gets that much closer and that much faster. And so, yes, it will be. Yes, exactly. Response from who? I think I'll just say it in plain English. I think that what this is going to do is it's going to continue to elect people like this who call for shooting migrants and denying them food and water. I think this guy is going to be seen as a moderate in 10 years. And you're going to see people that increasingly feel like their country has been alienated away from them. And I think it's going to cause them to
Asmongold is like where Tim Pool was 5 years ago.
Look up to and look for extreme right-wing figures that will use military and violent solutions in order to remove these problems. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen really, really soon. Like, it's going to happen within our lifetime for sure. And so, deport them all? Well, I don't know, like Trump? No, Trump is like...
No, that is so real. This guy is just fantasizing about Nazi uprising and pretending he's doing factual analysis. Exactly. Whenever people say stuff like this, it always sounds like they're just fucking slobbering for it, man. Like they're just like, oh, I just want race wars now. That is literally how they sound. That's how Asmongold sounds. Seems like a really cool YouTuber wants to call in. Oh, what, this spear goose guy? Okay, maybe after the video.
Slobbing on this guy's unwashed, mangled knob for clout and Twitch raid views.
Thank you for the $5. Thank you.
If this person is a 10, Trump is a 2. No, absolutely not. And again, everybody thinks this kind of stuff isn't going to happen until it happens. This is the same thing. By the way, a lot of people in like Nazi Germany didn't think it was going to happen. That nobody knew it was going to happen until it was already happening. And then people just basically accepted it. So that's it with perhaps finality. Well, I don't know yet. How is anyone okay with calling for the death of anyone? Well, I don't really care too much about that. I was just saying I think it's against the law, right? That's it. But anyway, so what's going to happen is it's going to alienate more and more people. And then once a large enough contingency of people become alienated, then those people will become militant. And when enough of those people become militant, and if they're organized enough, they will create a political revolution that will have a tremendously violent reaction. And I think that's what's going to happen. Clean up streets? Yeah, exactly. You're wrong. It won't take 10 years, 5 years max. We're after in the EU. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think it could go long. What if there isn't a large enough contingency? I think there
Unfortunately,
is,
for all the far right people in this country, it's the immigrants who have all the guns. So that it's going to be difficult if they want to do like a militant uprising.
I do. And also, I think that, like, I think that you vastly underestimate how absolutely fucking savage people can be. Like, if you go back and you look at history and, like, what people used to do and, like, the way that they used to do it, the kind of stuff that we read about in history books is, like, it's very bad, but you should see the kind of shit that they used to do in, like, fucking, Incan temples, right? It's insane. That's what's never wrong. And again, I've told you guys that this is going to happen. A lot of people, and I've said this is the reason, again, when you make reasonable conversation impossible, you make unreasonable outcomes inevitable. And I think that's exactly where we're facing. And I think that's where we're going with, and not we, I mean, that's where Europe is going. This is my armchair opinion, right? I mean, I don't really know this entirely, but I think that's where things are going right now. And so the more and more it happens, and also here's the other thing, it's that I think that Trump is a really great example of this, and also like the anti-woke stuff is a great example of this, is that once people like this have one victory, it acts as a galvanizing force to just like multiply the amount of people that are actually holding these viewpoints. And you're going to see a lot of people, because this is a component to it I don't think is really discussed, that's discussed enough, is that
reasonable conversations when nobody says anything edgy or mean. Reasonable conversations when artists have to be totally cucked and say they love Israel before everything.
A lot of people that are at, these concerts or whatever, these would be people who would be cheering at Nazi rallies too. These people are just simply going with the flow. They're going with what the popular consensus is. They're going with what the zeitgeist is. And if that was a Nazi flag up there, 80 years ago, it would have been their grandfather up there doing the exact same thing. Give me 1 second, sorry. His statement's valid. Why would anyone call for the death of anyone? Well, I don't really think that, again, the IDF, like, I don't care about the IDF. Like, what Israel's doing, like, I don't live in Israel. Why the fuck could I care about Israel? But the point is that calling for that groups of people to be killed and stuff like that, this is violent extremist rhetoric. And I think that if you enter into that realm, you should expect other people to follow you. And the issue is that a lot of the people that enter into that realm, there are other people that if they follow them, it's the same as like the U.S. and Iran. Iran is a powerful country, but when the U.S. just wants to nuke them or bomb them with these bunker busters, the war is over in 24 hours. I don't think people understand like the power dynamics of this entirely. And so we'll see what happens. IDF are terrorists, that's fine. But like, again, I think that like and this is the big issue that a lot of people like this have, is that people like you are so ideologically captured by what's right and wrong that you fail to see the basic human primitive survival mechanisms that will come into place. What's right and wrong doesn't matter.
Wow, great analysis, Asmongold. Wow, this is groundbreaking
and alive matters. And that's who decides every single war. Not who's right or wrong, but who's dead. And so that's it. And so that's
why you have to always just side with the winner, because might makes right, and whoever wins is the best. Wow, thank you, Asmongold. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Asmongold. Wow.
Go and make all these explanations of, oh, but that's not fair, and this is hypocritical or whatever, and that's fine, but, again, you're never going to hear those people. History is written by the victors. Yeah, that's it. There is no morality in survival. There's only survival. And I think when people realize that, you're going to have a tremendous negative reaction with this. And I'm very worried about it too, because I think it's going to be a destabilizing force across the entire
you sound really worried, man.
And I think it will be an overall bad thing too. That's generally the way I see about it.
10 minutes of fantasizing about Nazi takeover. I don't think I'd agree with it.
I mean, not really. Whenever you have people like this being elected, right? Like, it's keyboard warriorism until they elect somebody like this who actually, decides to tell the people with guns to shoot the people that they don't like. And that's what happens. At a certain point, you have to say that objectively, there has to be a point where even being the victor isn't morally right. Being the victor isn't morally right. That's fine, but I'd rather be immoral than dead. And most...
So it's just might makes right, so just say that next time, retard.
People would. That's just all there is to it. Again, like, again, this is internet logic, internet ethics. all of these things immediately disappear whenever survival is in consideration. All of these things just are, like, you think about like animals, right? Animals will kill each other. They'll kill, other animals in their own pack. They'll like just brutalize each other. They'll even eat each other, cannibalize each other. And will they do this if everything is great and things are totally fine? No. But the moment that things become problematic or an issue, they'll immediately start tearing each other apart. And so we're not, like, I don't believe human beings are, like, I don't believe animals come from the earth and, human beings come from God. I think that we evolved from animals, and I think that we still are animals. And the fact is that we can't, like, you can't get away from that. We romanticize our nature too much? Yeah, I think so. And we saw with the Karen at the Ducks yesterday, they also sexually assault each other. Would you put your survival and life on the line for your family and loved ones? Well, yeah, of course, right? I mean, I think anybody would do that, or at least most people would. Wild animals will kill babies. Yeah, they'll just kill babies, and they don't even care. It doesn't even occur to them. And you think that people can't go to that level, they'll instantly go to that level, and then it will be justified historically hundreds of years in the future. That's just the way it is. And so
who cares about having any morality right now? So just never have any morality, because I'm a total fucking waster who lives in this shit fucking falling apart house that I've owned since that's my mother's owned since I was a child, and I'm never gonna leave. I'm never gonna do anything worthwhile with my life. I'm never gonna clean it. And yeah, I'm basically just a complete lead-brained degenerate who is just gonna waste space and hoard wealth for my entire fucking life until I die a miserable, lonely death. Wow, thank you, Asmongold. Thank you. Great as always, Asmongold. Always glad to hear your commentary.